Hello ladies and gentlemen, Security here bringing you another Minecraft Cold War vehicle tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going ahead and building the Soltam L-33. The Soltam L-33 was a artillery gun that was based on the chassis of the M4 Sherman medium tank. The Israeli Army ingenuity showed through their Soltam L-33 Roem, where they proved a need for an indigenous self-propelled artillery system. Design work began in the late 1960s and took the existing chassis of the American World War II era M4 Sherman medium tank and added a fixed hull superstructure with a Cummins diesel engine. The result was a serviceable 10-ton vehicle mounting a powerful 155mm howitzer. First combat service was with the Israeli Army during the 1973 Yom Kippur War, and additional service in 1982 in the Lebanon War. It is estimated that some 200 vehicles were produced in all, though they are no longer in active service with the Israeli military. The L3 designation stems from the main gun's 155mm L/33 caliber. The L-33 features a Soltam Systems developed 155mm M68 field gun with a weapon modified to fit in the L-33 vehicle scheme. The mounting hardware allowed for the traverse of 30 degrees to either side from the center line, as well as 52 to a -4 degrees elevation. Lacking a turret, the entire vehicle was turned to face target areas outside the traversal reach of the weapon proper. The gun was capable of reaching out to 12.4 miles unassisted, and projectiles and charges are handled separately, with 60 times 155mm projectiles are carried aboard. The gun held the inherent ability to fire standard NATO munitions, including high explosive, anti-personnel illumination, and smoke rounds as needed. During travel, the barrel was clamped against the vehicle by the way of a brace found alongside the glacis plate when in travel mode. Rectangular doors along the sides of the boxy superstructure gave the gunnery crew entry and exit into the main fighting cabin. The vehicle was positioned at front left of the hull. The driver was positioned at front left of the hull. Roof hatches provided further access to the outside, as well as a direct management of the included 7.62mm air defense anti-infantry machine gun fitted at the front right. 1,000 rounds of ammunition were typically carried for the roof machine gun. The driver component of the vehicle was a Cummins VTA 903 V8 diesel fueled engine of 460 horsepower at 2,600 RPM. This provided the L3 with a road speed of 36 kilometers and a range of about 260 kilometers. Dimensions include a length of 6.5 meters with a width of 3.27 meters and a height of 2.47 meters. So you have the Soltam here, a very interesting vehicle and kind of part of some really interesting countries' development of the M4 Sherman. The M4 Sherman service didn't just end in World War II, it even saw service with the United States, even into the Korean War. However, many countries took the Sherman just due to its abundance, and it's obviously very cheap to get their hands on and procure at the time, and decided to develop it further into basically the vehicles they needed to kind of fill out their lines. And the Israelis were definitely no exception to that. They took the M4 Sherman chassis, went ahead and modified it and turned it into a self-propelled artillery gun. It's very interesting to see a 155mm gun mounted onto a Sherman chassis. A massive gun for such a small little vehicle, and it does look a little derpy, that's for sure, when looking at this thing. But with that, we'll go ahead and kind of dive in here to take a look at the vehicle and all that. So basically, you have the main gun here mounted on it. You can see the Sherman chassis here is pretty straightforward. It's pretty much standard with my other Sherman chassis. Nothing too fancy there, but your main changes really start to come into this whole section here, where basically it's just a giant box that was mounted onto the top of the tank. And the gun here just kind of fits in here in the middle space, very standard for a gun like that. And we have the different viewports here for the operators of the tank, most likely the driver, and probably the tank commander or something of that sort. Up on top here, we have the mounted machine gun. For me, I went ahead and put a 50 cal on. You can put it to a 7.62mm, but I did see some models with 50 cal, so I just decided to go ahead and decide to throw that on there instead. As it would make sense probably to have a 50 cal on here. And you have all the detailing here on the back, some racks, some doors that would be able to be opened to obviously probably allow ease of loading and all that stuff. We also have our side doors there to the sides. One thing I also found really interesting with this tank, I'm not sure if it was just a typical Israeli design for the time, but it seemed like a lot of the models, both the tan and green colored ones, actually had red highlighted wheels, or like the centers of the wheels were on the road wheels were red. So kind of interesting, and also these little ladders to kind of get up into the vehicle. So I went ahead and decided to include those. I thought they were kind of cool and definitely adds a little bit of color and variety to the tank. So yeah, that right there is pretty much a travel version. We will have a kind of deployed version also available, or firing position 1, so you can stay tuned for that. There will be a modification video coming pretty soon after this video that will show you guys how to make this like so. But anyways, that's it for this overview. Let's go ahead and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer, layer number 1. Alright guys, so going ahead and moved into our first layer here. We're going ahead and start with layers 0 and 1. For these layers to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down another brick upside down stair like so. We then want to go and skip a space back from the stair, place down a birchwood top slab. And we want to go and then skip 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, another birchwood top slab like so. And then after that birchwood top slab, we're going to skip another space, place down an air brick slab, and an air brick top slab. After that, we can delete these blocks right here, and we should have basically those 2 floating top slabs underneath the space here, the blocks in the ground, underneath the top slabs, and in between the air brick stair and top slab, or rather I should say half slab. We're just going to place down an air brick all the way across the bottom there to fill those tracks in. We then want to place down a grindstone here. Grindstone coming off this slab, same thing over here, like so. And we're also going to place down 2 grindstones, like this, coming off each other like that, for that middle 2 space like that, and that's what your track should look like. We then want to place down some item frames on the side here of these grindstones, and in those item frames we're going to place down red concrete blocks like so for those red wheels. Now after we have that done, we're going to go ahead and take our smooth sandstone. We're going to place down a smooth sandstone block coming off this right here, birchwood trapdoor, and another smooth sandstone top slab. We're going to go ahead and place down our row 3 after that. Go into the back here, we're going to go ahead and get this air brick slab. We're going to place down our row 3 of smooth sandstone top slabs. At this point in time, we're just going to go ahead and fill in the bottom here of the vehicle with our sandstone top slabs, like that, to create our base there. On these 2 slabs here, we're going to place down item frames, then tripwire hooks in the item frames, and we're going to go ahead and rotate them so they face downwards like so. After that, we're going to place down an air brick slab here, a top slab coming off that, and we then want to place down a grindstone like so, our birchwood top slab, grindstone, and our 2 grindstones like this. So basically the same thing we did on the other side, just over here to this side. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of go through it a little bit more quicker, as I've already kind of covered what to do on the other side. And obviously don't forget your nether brick blocks here in the ground. And after we have that done, again, our item frames here on the sides of the grindstones by crouching and placing them like so. And once we have that all done right there, that is going to conclude what we have there for layer 0 and 1. As you can see from up above, this is what it should look like for the top-down view. Pretty straightforward stuff. And with that, we'll move into layer number 2. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 2. For layer 2 to begin with, we're going to place down a stripped birchwood log on its side like so, on top of these narrow brick stairs like that. The space in between these, we're going to go and then fill in with a sandstone wall to both sides and a yellow stained glass pane there in the center. We're going to go and then take our smooth sandstone. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3 smooth sandstone blocks across, and we're also going to place down an air brick top slab on both ends like so. We're going to go ahead and then place down an item frame, come off the side of this block. In that item frame, we're going to place down a cobweb like so. And if you're on Java, we'll also go ahead and grab ourselves an acacia wood button and place down an acacia wood button on the sides of that log there. The addition of that acacia wood button and the item frame in the same block space is only going to be available for us Java players. If you're on Bedrock or Pocket Edition, you will not be able to do that feature. If that's the case, just go ahead and place down a item frame with a cobweb and disregard that little button there, as it's not a major, thing that you need. Anyways, though, after that, we're going to go ahead and place down dark oak wood trapdoors on these 2 blocks like so. Then after that, we're going to take our smooth sandstone, we're going to place down our row 3 across the center, followed by a second row, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 rows back. We're going to go then place down a smooth sandstone block to both ends on that last row there, and we're going to place down a stripped birchwood log there in the exact center. And then after that, we're just going to place down a row 3 of sandstone top slabs going back from that. After that's done, we want to go and then take our anvils here. We're going to place down an anvil on top of these birchwood top slabs, like so. And we want to go and go back from it with another brick top slab. We're going to go and then place down a set of 2 birchwood ups and downstairs back to back. Same thing over here. And coming off the first stair here, we're going to go and place down a birchwood sign. So birchwood sign on both those first stairs there. And then after that, we're going to place down a acacia wood fence gate, like so. Come off here, and we're going to open the fence gate toward the stair like so. With that done, we also want to place down an item frame on the side of this anvil and a red concrete block in the item frame. Same thing over here. And for us Java players, we'll go ahead and expand upon this by also placing down a dark oak wood sign on the side of the anvil. Again, that'll be a Java only feature. We're going to go ahead and place down another brick top slab, going back on both sides. Another anvil. On top of that birchwood top slab, and same thing here for our item frames and our signs if applicable. To both sides. Then another brick top slab. After that, we're going to go ahead and place down a stripped birchwood log on its side like so. An item frame on both sides. And then we're going to place down a cobweb in the item frame like so. And then we're going to go in just very simply, again for us shovel players, we'll place down a Koichi wood button on the side of that block as well like that. We then want to place down a narrow brick stair on both sides like so, followed by a dark oak trapdoor coming off the front there of the stair. After we have that all done, we're going to go and then place down a Koichi wood fence gate here and open it toward the vehicle. We can also, if we're on Java, place down an item frame in that space right there. And we're going to go and place down a tripwire hook in the item frame and rotate it so it faces downwards, like so. So again, that'll be a feature only for us Java players. After that's all done there, we then want to go ahead and actually move on to our next layer. That is actually it. I was thinking there's something else for some reason, but yeah, that right there will conclude what we have there for this layer. Take a look at it from up above. This is what we should have for the top-down view. With that though, let's go and move into our next layer, layer number 3. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 3. For layer 3, we're going to start off with placing down a sandstone stair on top of those 2 blocks there, birchwood stairs to both sides, and then a narrow smooth sandstone stair there in the center. After that, we're going to take our smooth sandstone blocks. We're going to place down a row of 3 across, followed by a second row of 3, then a third row, a fourth row, and just like that. We're going to go then place down a set of, or a stripped birchwood log to both sides, and then a row of 3 of smooth sandstone there in the center, filling that in. We're going to place down a row of 5 after that of smooth sandstone across, followed by a birchwood button on both ends. Also, on top of that Koichi wood fence gate there, we're going to go ahead and just place down a red carpet on top there as well, like so. Once we have that done, we want to go and then take our smooth sandstone, place down a row of 5 going all the way across, followed by a second row after that, and then a third row like this, filling that space in like so. On this back side here, we're going to go and grab a smooth sandstone stair. We're going to place down a smooth sandstone stair to both sides. Item frames coming off the back of the stair. The side of the stairs like so, and we're going to go and place down red concrete in those item frames for the brake lights. And also grabbing ourselves some birchwood signs, we're going to place down a birchwood sign on the side of the stair as well with the item frame if you're on Java, and also a birchwood sign on the front, or on the front of the stair here, which will be for all versions. Then on the back here, we're going to go and place down a stripped birchwood log on these 2 sides, smooth sandstone block there in the center. And after we have that done, we're going to go and place down a polished black stone wall coming off this center block. And then again, grabbing our red carpet, we're going to place down our red carpet on top of this Koichi wood fence gate. With that all out of the way, that right there is going to complete everything we have there for layer number 3. Actually, one thing also, the front here, on these 2 stairs, we're going to place down item frames, black beds in the item frames, rotated so the pillow is facing toward the center of the vehicle. And then we're also going to place down a birchwood sign on the front there of the stairs again if you're on Java. With that all done though, that is going to wrap up what we have there for this layer, layer number 3. And with that, let's move on to layer number 4. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer 4. For layer 4 to get started with, we're going to go and start off by going ahead and going to this right front corner. We're going to place down a stair, like so, of smooth sandstone. We then want to go and go back from it with a smooth sandstone block, and then a second one back, like so. On the inside here, next to the smooth sandstone block, we're going to place down a sandstone slab, and then we want to go then place down a smooth sandstone full block, like that, going across. At this point in time, we're going to go and grab birchwood top slabs. We're going to place down 1 and 2. Top slabs down the center, and actually 3. So 3 top slabs down the center, and then smooth sandstone block here, smooth sandstone slab, 1, 2, smooth sandstone blocks, and then this right here is going to be a stripped birchwood log right here. We're going to take our item frames around this stripped birchwood log. We're going to place down our item frames like so, and we're going to place down black beds in the item frames like this for the driver's viewport. So we're just going to rotate them around on the sides like so. And for this also, we'll go ahead and place down birchwood signs around the sides there to cover up the item frames a little bit better, and just kind of add a little more detail there for that section there. Now at this point in time, if you do want to have the gun kind of in a fixed position, so this is like in transit mode, so it's, for example, in storage, or it's being moved and transported or something of that sort, we want to go ahead and place down a birchwood fence gate here, and we're going to have the fence gate opened up toward the front of the vehicle, or I should say toward that direction. And we're going to go ahead and place down a birchwood sign on both sides of it. We're going to go ahead and kind of touch on this a little bit further with the gun, but basically, again, that's if you want the gun kind of in this forward-facing position, kind of in a transit type mode. After this, though, we want to go ahead and grab ourselves a lever. We're going to place down a lever on both sides of this second smooth sandstone block here. Then for this space right here, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves some black concrete to begin with. We're going to place down a black concrete block here in the center, and then 1 and 2 smooth sandstone blocks to the side, 1 and 2 over here. We're going to go then place down a stripped birchwood log to both sides, a row 3 of smooth sandstone across in between those, and we then want to place down a tripwire hook coming off the side there of those blocks. We're going to place down a row 3 of smooth sandstone across. This is going to be followed up with a birchwood button on both ends. We want to go and then place down another row 5 of smooth sandstone across, then a second row. Then at this point here, we're going to place down a smooth sandstone block on both ends, and then taking our stripped birchwood logs, we're going to place down a row 3 across. We then want to go and place down a sandstone slab in the center, like so, and then a skeleton skull on top of this wall right here. We're going to go and then grab levers. We're going to place down levers on top of these 2 blocks like so, and then also birchwood fence gates on top of the stair here, which will be opened up with the smooth sandstone block. We then want to take our birchwood signs, and we're going to place down signs wrapped around these 2 sides of the fence gate, and same thing will be done over here on this side as well. After that's all done there, that right there is pretty much it for this layer. Just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything, and everything does appear to be good to go. So yeah, with that, that is going to conclude everything we have there for layer number 4. Take a look at it from above here. This is what it should look like for the top-down view. Anyways, with that complete, let's go ahead and move on to our next layer, layer number 5. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 5. For layer 5, to go ahead and get started with here, we want to begin with by going ahead and placing down a sandstone block, which will be on top of this black concrete block right there. We're going to place down 1, 2, and 3 strip birchwood blocks going forward, and we then want to place down 1, 2, 3 sandstone walls, a smooth sandstone block, and then an air sandstone wall like so. And on the very end here, we're going to place down a block on netherite. Now coming off this block on netherite to the sides, we're going to place down a wither skeleton skull. We then want to go ahead and grab ourselves an item frame. We're going to place down an item frame like so, a black concrete block, which will go in the item frame, and again for us Java players, we'll place a dark oak sign on the side there of the netherite block. After that's all complete, we want to go and then grab ourselves a skeleton skull. We're going to place down a skeleton skull on both sides of this block here, and then going back from that, we're going to place down a end rod. So that's going to go back from those 2 blocks there, and then a birchwood stair like so to both sides. Behind those birchwood stairs, we're going to place down a black concrete block. At this point in time, if you do want to have the gun again in that fixed position and you include this fence gate here, we're just going to place down a birchwood sign on both sides of this wall right there. And then we want to go and then on top of it, place down a birchwood trapdoor. So just like this, and this will kind of make your transit mode, that locking mechanism or brace that helps keep the barrel from, moving too much. After that's done though, we're going to go and then place down a stripped birchwood log right here on top of this block. And then coming off this block here to the side, we want to go and grab a birchwood fence gate. Place down a fence gate like this to the side, and that'll be used for the mount there for our gun. We're going to go then place down 2 smooth sandstone blocks back, a lever on this one right here. We're going to go and flick it so it faces downwards like so and connects up to that lever. Over here on the other side, it's going to be another stripped birchwood block right here. Item frames around these 2 sides, and then Java, we can also place down an item frame right there. We're going to go and place down our black beds in the item frames. So just like we did for the kind of previous row down below. And we're going to then take our birchwood signs, and for on Java, we'll place down birchwood signs on these 2 sides here. After that, we're going to go ahead and place down 2 smooth sandstone blocks back, a lever on the side of this one, and have that flick downwards, like so. After that's all done, we're going to take our smooth sandstone, we're going to place down a row of 5 across. This is going to be followed up with a second row, then a third row, and then a 4th row of 5 going back. We want to go and then grab sandstone walls. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sandstone walls. Birchwood fence gate like this to both sides, and wrapped around the birchwood fence gate, we're just going to place down some birchwood signs like so. Same thing will be done over here, like that around all 3 sides. And with that, let's move on to layer 6 through 10. One thing I want to add real quick before we do is we want to also place down a tripwire hook coming off the side of this block there. So just go ahead and throw that on as a simple addition. And one thing I also forgot on the back here is we need some item frames. And we're going to place down item frames here. If you're on Java, you'll place down tripwire hooks wrapped or rotate them downwards. If you are not on Java and you do want to include those item frames, you can go ahead and remove that one sign on the inside there, which is definitely not a bad option to do. Those tripwire hooks help to add a little bit of extra detail on the back. So again, up to you guys on what you guys want to do there, but a couple options for you. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue on. For this, we're going to place down a redstone repeater and separate the notches on that first sandstone block after the birchwood strip birchwood blocks there. On the left side one, we're going to place down a button like so. After that, we're going to go and take our birchwood trapdoors, starting on the right side of the vehicle. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4 birchwood trapdoors across, and then we're going to place down a birchwood fence post right here. Going up from the fence post, we're going to place down our radio antenna, which will be 4 iron bars up. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We then want to take daylight detectors. We're going to place down a row of 5 all the way across. Make sure those trapdoors are closed. Then a row of 5 of sandstone slabs across. Then a row of daylight detectors across again. And then after that, we're going to go and then place down a row of 5 of birchwood trapdoors across again. And we're going to go and close the trapdoors like so. Then just a skeleton skull on top of those sandstone walls like so. After that, the last thing for us to go ahead and do here is to go ahead and put the machine gun on the side of the vehicle. This is going to need a birchwood fence gate, dark oak wood fence gate, anvil, polished blackstone stair, zombie head, repeater, item frame, black bed, dark oak wood sign, and then we're going to need an end rod and a chain here. So to place this, pretty simple. We're going to place down the anvil here on top of the lever, dark polished blackstone upside down stair on top of that fence gate. We then want to place down an end rod coming off this, and then we're going to place down a chain coming off the end rod. We're going to place down an item frame over here on the right side of the stair. Black bed rotated face down or face sideways like so. Dark oak wood sign on the side there if you're on Java. We'll then place down a dark oak wood fence gate on the back here of the anvil, open forward. Then a zombie head over here on the left side here of the stair, and then on top of the stair itself, we're going to place down a redstone repeater and separate the notches like so for our machine gun up on top. And once you have that all complete right there, the last thing for us to go ahead and do here is to go ahead and grab a polished blackstone button and just place it down on top of this stripped birchwood log. With that all complete though, that's going to wrap up my tutorial here for the L-33 Soltam self-propelled artillery gun. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this tutorial and are able to put to good use if you're doing using this build device, so you guys give me proper credit for it. This will be linked from the side of the build, link to my channel or this video if this does appear on social media sites. As always, you guys give me proper credit for your free user for a project you guys are working on. Overall, enjoy the build, have fun with it, all that fun stuff. With it though, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Garrett204, and I'll see you guys next time.